Vanakkam and welcome to Suvai, folks. This is RJ Sudha, founder and host of Suvai Radio. This is a second session in a while after a long time. Last week, we had a very young artist, Sneha Vinoy, who gave us a very entertaining package from Ilayaraja collections. And today we have another young lady, very young, promising lady, Janani Ramachandran, an upcoming, I would say, political activist, I should say, and who is very promising to say. I'm envisioning her to break the glass barrier in about 10 years from now, or maybe even earlier. And all of us know that in the US, that there are several elections coming up in November. It may be at city level, state level, national level, that will redefine the future of this nation. And that is at the brink of so many issues: inflation, reproductive rights for women, right to bear arms, inclusiveness of minority communities, and a lot more, and not necessarily in that order. And along with these are several propositions in the ballot that the citizens will have to vote. And today, as I introduced you initially, we have Janani Ramachandran, who is going to be standing for the City Council of Oakland City. Welcome to the show, Janani Ramachandran. How are you doing?
Thank you so much for having me, Sudha. I am doing great. We are 52 days away from our election.
Wow.
So it's a really exciting time.
Right. I can imagine the anxiety. I can imagine the pressure that you're going through. I can imagine the team that is giving you support, and how much they're all excited for you. And we're also as excited, especially for a woman from South Asian background. We will do as much as we can to support you and your team. Just a little background about Janani Ramachandran. Janani is a social justice attorney who has dedicated her life to empowering communities and fighting for responsive, accountable governments. She identifies as LGBTQ. Janani's passion for justice was born at an early age. At 16, Janani founded a nonprofit that built libraries in under-resourced schools in her local community. She attended Stanford University, where she studied political theory, systems for democratic governance, and economic development. Later, Janani worked as a home visiting case manager at a community health clinic, serving pregnant women experiencing domestic violence and housing insecurity. Witnessing the injustices her clients face at the hands of inequitable legal justice, she was driven to make a difference as a lawyer and attended Berkeley Law. There, Janani supported tenants, small business owners, and survivors of domestic violence across Oakland. Now she's running a city council because the time for timid ideas is over. We need bold solutions and leaders with courage to fight for them. You can read more about her platform at jananiramachandran.com. Wonderful, wonderful Janani. We're so impressed with your background. And Janani, you seem to have carved out your life as a champion for the people from a very, very young age. At 16, you had a startup going, you had a non-profit going on, and you seem to have singly focused on the common people's lives, and then now you're standing for city council. Tell me what drives you? Why are you so passionate about serving the common people?
Absolutely. So I was born in Fremont, California.
Fremont.
But I moved to Bangalore when I was in high school.
Okay.
So for me, my passion for public service was instilled by my parents at a very young age. They were immigrants to this country, and like many of our immigrant communities, really struggle to make it in America. And for them, it's of utmost importance to make sure that we're always giving back. We're always thinking about our roots, where we came from, and how we can serve those without the privilege and good luck. So when I moved to Bangalore, there was no more of a stark contrast between those who had privilege and those didn't. Right outside of my house, in a new development in a housing complex over there, I saw kids who were working with their parents in construction projects as young as 4, 5, 6, and not going to school. So I, talked to my mother. I was, maybe 11 or 12 at that point, and said, what can we do to make sure that everyone has the same opportunities that I have? And she said, why don't you tell me? She encouraged me to think, what can you do? You can't solve all the problems. So what's something small that you can start to do in your own community, in your own neighborhood right here, to make the change happen?
Nice.
Yeah. So we started Operation Education in Bangalore,
Okay.
which set up libraries, small libraries in about 15 underprivileged schools in the Bangalore area. And the biggest thing moving from the US, I loved my public libraries. I loved reading. I loved going there for activities. But in India, you just don't have the same access to books, to resources in the same kind of way. So that nonprofit really taught me leadership skills. How do I organize a team? Everyone cares about the issue, but how do you get people to do the work? How do you get people to donate both their money and their time? And it was the biggest teaching moment for me that set me in the course of the rest of my career path so far.
Very nice. I mean, actually, you actually learn those skills even without you realizing that that's such an tender age. And looking back, you'd say, "Oh, this is what those skills taught me." I mean, when running those public libraries actually taught me these skills, leadership skills, to mentor children, and all that. This is what it taught me. And looking back, I think it was very rewarding. I'm sure, right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And it made me decide that public service of some kind is what I want to do for the rest of my career. At the time, I didn't know what that would look like. I had no idea I would be running for office at the age that I decided to do so last year. But it's been an incredible journey so far. And I want to make sure that I always have in my mind the lessons I learned early on.
Wow, very nice. Good to know. So Janani, maybe I should ask you this question. So now that you have explained to me what your childhood was and what you did in Bangalore and what you witnessed in Bangalore and what you did to help the situation with the children there, coming fast forwarding today's situation where you're standing for City Council in District 4 of Oakland. If I have to ask you what Team Janani represents in 2022 election, what would your answer be?
Yeah, we represent a new wave of leadership. The average person is tired of politics, the status quo, the corruption, the mismanagement. I'm sick of our local government, and that's why I want to jump in and be part of a whole new change of leadership. We need
fresh faces, fresh ideas. We need people who got good qualifications. You know what I mean? Like you have a Stanford and UC Berkeley background, and you have fresh ideas. You can put them into place. Yeah,
definitely. And so I ran for office last year for the first time, and every time, and I ran for state assembly. Every time that I told people in the initial phases, I'm thinking about running, will you support me, or what guidance would you give me? I was told by 99% of people, no, don't do it. This is not the race for you. It's not your time. You're too young. You haven't paid your dues in the political world. No one knows you. You'll never raise enough money. I was always told, don't do it. Yeah. And that's what motivated me to want to do it more. I thought
I have to tell you my story also along the same lines. I was a software engineer for about 25 years, and I jumped out of it, and I wanted to do something, what you said, something in the public life, community service, do some RJing stuff and all that. And somebody told me, why do you want to do radio hosting? There are a lot of people who do radio hosting. You don't want to be one among them. One amongst them. I told them, no, I want to try it out. No harm in trying, because it means a lot. I'll be touching a lot of lives. I will be having my voice heard. I will be coordinating a lot of people's lives and a lot of communities' lives together. And I'm very happy about where I am today rather than what I was doing software engineering job, frankly. So that barrier that you broke last year was amazing, just amazing. I think you basically stumped people who thought that you will not make it, and you actually you came out with 33,000 votes. Is that right?
Yep, we did.
That is wonderful. That is wonderful. Congratulations for it. I mean, I'm sure there was people who told you that you had to go through a specific hierarchy. You had to go through a proper channel, or you had to run for the city post, and then a county, and then a state level, and then to get through all these things, you have to know certain people to get to the top. You broke all those barriers to run for the state counts, for the state level position. But then you went straight away to the state assembly position, and you actually got 33,000 votes. You managed to raise funds and all that. Tell me, Janani, what was the secret sauce in getting to that position so quickly in your first attempt?
Yeah, it really stumped people in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And to me, I had no background in politics. I had not even volunteered on people's campaigns.
Other than your Stanford education, which
Yeah.
It was all theory.
But to me, I really have to, credit the mentors and the team that I found along the way that encouraged me, that said, for all the people that said no, there were plenty of people that said, yes, we can do it. We want to see people like you in office. But mostly it was the voters. The average voter, they're tired of the same political dynasties, the same family members, the same communities in these posts. And they also want to see something different. Our government is failing us in a lot of ways, whether it's crime or homelessness or bad roads or corruption. I mean, there's so much, or poor public education, healthcare. I mean, there's so many issues at the local, state, and federal level where our government is not serving us. So for us, it was just extremely hard work. We pushed the barriers by physically knocking. We knocked on thousands of doors. We must have knocked on 40, 50,000 doors in the course of the campaign last year. I know personally, I knocked on just 10,000 doors myself in the course of 4 months or less. And that's what helped us get our name out there. And this year, it's a little different. Last year's campaign is helping us get the momentum and the name recognition we need. People know that we stand for the right values that the people and the communities care about. And so now it's about using that to push us forward at the local level.
Right. Janani, it was just the terms that you threw in, homelessness, bad roads, crime, everything. We are sitting here in the richest and the most advanced nation in the world, and we still are talking about this in the year 2022. And if this is a state of affairs in this country, I can't even imagine what it is in other countries. It's sad, and it's up to us, like leaders like you and your team, to step up and really set an example of what this nation should look like and how other countries perceive this nation should be, rather than say, oh, yours is no different from us, that kind of thing. So I think it's up to people like you to actually polish the image of this nation at city level or the state level, and then bring it up, expand it to the next level. You act as role models and stay up to the next level to inspire leaders from other states to be like you, right?
I hope so. I mean, you look at Oakland, we're always in the news for the wrong reasons right
Exactly.
now. Homelessness, crime. The United Nations top human rights executive came to Oakland a couple of years ago and said our homelessness crisis is on par with among countries that are among the worst in the world and the least developed. And it was tragic. She said they're inhumane conditions where people are living right here in Oakland. California is the 5th largest economy in the world. Yep. We're the wealthiest state in the nation, and yet if you look at an issue as basic as childhood hunger, 1 in 4 kids have experienced hunger in the course of their lifetimes. Those are basic necessities: food, water, shelter, and a significant part of Californians aren't being given those basics.
Yeah, and it's very hard to believe that we are the richest state in the nation, the richest country in the world, and it is hard to believe. We know when we live here that we are not so. This is not what it is in reality.
Right? Definitely, there's so much inequity at every level, and we need council members and state legislators and all these positions with people who care. There are too many people in politics that are just there for the name. They want to use one post to get to another post and get to another post, and it's just this cycle of people in politics for absolutely the wrong reasons. And that's been the course of history. For some people it's making money, for some people it's fame or egos or whatever it is, and we've lost focus on the community. We have politicians, we don't have public servants, and we need more public servants in office.
I completely agree with you. Those are 2 different terms, and only the day when these 2 meet is when we have a successful country, a successful world. That's what it is. Yeah. So Janani, you talked about how in the earlier election that you won with 33,000 votes at the state level, and now we're running for the city council level. How is your, unfortunately, we did not win, but that was the first step. That was very commendable number of votes you did. You knocked on doors and you did a fantastic campaign. You raised funds and a lot of things. Now it is with this coming to 2022, how is the formula going to change at the city council level? How are you going to win?
Yeah, so our district is thankfully a little smaller than last year, fewer number of doors to knock on. We're out there knocking on every single door or connecting with every single voter in some way or the other, whether it's at a farmer's market or a backyard meet and greet event or a music festival, whatever it is.
Okay.
We are talking to voters and, listen, most importantly, listening. People don't feel that their city government listens to them when they talk about how awful pedestrian safety is in their neighborhood corner, how elders have been injured and hit by cars and cyclists have been, these are local issues. And I want to focus on the hyper local because that's the building blocks of larger scale safety. If I know the exact intersections where we need a stop sign, a speed bump, a flashing yellow light, whatever it is, that's going to change the culture of our neighborhoods. And we have to start with the hyperlocal. Public safety and crime, those are big issues to tackle. But if we start by creating neighborhoods that are walkable neighborhoods where there's more foot traffic and more people, are safer neighborhoods. And so that's one part of the picture in thinking about how we make our communities safer. One of many parts. Of course, there's law enforcement and there's mental health programs and addiction services and youth development programs and job opportunities. All of that is a part of the holistic picture of safety. But I think it's the city council members' job to focus on the hyper local to get to the larger scale results.
Very good. Nicely put in a nutshell. Janani, you had wonderful endorsements from great democratic clubs, labor unions, environmental justice groups, and a host of prominent local elected officials. What about this time? Do you have more endorsements coming your way?
We have that and more. This year we have all but one. Every major organization that's endorsed in our race has chosen me. We have, well, hopefully we'll find out about some of them, but we have numerous Democratic clubs. We have the Alameda Central Labor Council, which includes 135 labor unions. We have the firefighters union. We have teachers, we have nurses, we have healthcare workers. All of the groups representing these different organizations have chosen to support us this year. Environmental groups, small business owners. So many people have come to our side this year. There are many people who, last year said, look, you were new, we didn't know who you were, but we've seen who you are since then, and now we want to back you. So it's been wonderful to see people now who did not necessarily support you saying, we trust you now, you're our candidate.
Wonderful.
We have former mayor of Oakland, Elihu Harris, former mayor of Oakland, Jean Kwan, numerous council members in the city of Oakland, Congressman Ro Khanna as well. And we have leaders, certainly in Oakland, but all across the Bay Area. We have council members and mayors of El Cerrito, San Leandro, Fremont,
awesome. Okay.
the Santa Clara. We have people from all over because you have to work with your neighboring cities to make change.
Absolutely. Yeah. In fact, if you look at the cities in California, the crime doesn't happen independently. Criminals from different cities come into another city and do the crimes and get away and live in another city. They don't just live in one city. So tell us about your team, Janani.
Yeah, no, I have an amazing group of supporters that believe in our cause and believe in change. Our district is very diverse in Oakland. So we have a slice of Oakland that includes a lot of the Oakland Hills, all the way up to the border of Berkeley. Then we have some of the lower hills, and then we have some of the flatter regions of Oakland. These are very diverse neighborhoods, and we have key supporters in every single one of them. And these are the people that I'm going to rely on, hopefully once elected in office, to explain to me what are the hyperlocal issues, who in your neighborhood doesn't feel heard, doesn't feel like city council is responding to them and meeting their needs. So our base of supporters stretches in every part of the district. A lot of people ask when you're running for office, what is your base? What is your political base? Do you have young people? Do you have homeowners? Do you have tenants? Do you have labor? And I think that's the wrong question in a place like Oakland. We have community from different parts of the neighborhood that agree on our values and agree that I'm going to be the best candidate to take action, tangible action based on those values.
Excellent, excellent. That's very heartwarming. Janani, I'm going to throw out this question to you, assuming that you're going to win this election. I have so much of confidence in you, what you stand for and your team. Wonderful. I'm so proud. And I'm sure this is just the first step for you to go up the ladder and break the elusive glass barrier. Where do you see yourself 10 years from now, 15 years from now?
Oh, well, I've publicly committed to, if voters will have me, if I'm elected, to 2 full terms at the very least, representing this district. There are a lot of people that see city council as just a stepping stone, but I want to show that I genuinely, wholeheartedly care about the issues. So at least for 2 full terms, I want to make sure that this is the work that I'm doing. I'm committing to voters that this is what I want to do. I want to serve our neighborhoods. And that's exactly what I want to do. At the same time, there are opportunities for leadership in the Bay Area through city council, whether it's air quality management or regional homelessness issues or climate change. There are a whole lot of regional boards that Oakland can begin to be more of a leader on through this role. But after that, the sky's the limit. I think that
you're so young too, and so
I can do anything. And people do ask me, District 4 in Oakland is a very special district because almost the majority of mayors of Oakland have come from District 4. Their first seat that they get into is District 4, and then they run for mayor. Or also, we've had many from District 4 running for Congress or state legislature or all sorts of things. So it's a seat that people know that I'm going to be continuing on in politics after I serve.
I can see that. I can see that. Janani, I get periodic emails from your team about several events that are happening at the District 4 level and where it's happening usually on Saturdays. Tell me what's upcoming, because the next few weeks are very, very crucial for you and the team and for the rest of the nation too. Tell us about the events that the listeners can watch out for.
Yeah, every weekend, every Saturday morning and Sunday afternoon, we have volunteer events. So if someone listening to this show is able to come knock on some doors for us or pass out literature or drive yard signs, anything like that, we will gladly take your support. If you want to do phone banking and help us out virtually, if you're not near Oakland, we gladly accept that. But right now, one of our key focuses to make sure we can get our message out to voters is fundraising. So I will include a link to my website here. And if anyone listening to the show really wants to help us out, fundraising is really the way we can spread our message. We have awesome endorsements, but voters won't know that if we don't access them through digital media, through mailers, through texting, through all of these things, which do cost money. We have a few fundraisers coming up too. I think there's one every week till the election. There's a whole calendar on our website. But if folks want to get involved, there are many ways to make it happen. And I think even if you don't live in Oakland, to me, this is an important race to set the tone for the entire Bay Area and beyond.
I agree.
If Oakland can tackle crime, homelessness, roads, economic opportunities, then if you can address those issues locally, you can do it anywhere.
Anything, yeah, I completely agree with you. Yeah. Earlier on in the show, you mentioned about mentors in your life, in your career. Want to say a few words about the mentors that guided you through?
Yeah. Well, firstly, as I started off by saying, my family was very keen in instilling the value of public service to me. My mother doesn't like politics, so she definitely think I took it the wrong way. But my family is deeply supportive of what we're trying to do here, and it means the world to us, to me, and for me to be able to sustain myself in this work. I've gotten the support of a lot of different elders in politics, a lot of people who have represented Oakland as mayors, as council members and whatnot, both men and women who are excited to support a new generation of leadership and have really taught me the way and encouraged me to keep going. There are a lot of people that give a lot of advice, but there are a few people who will really take the time to mentor you and see what you need at different stages of the way and check in with you. And that's the kind of support we need. It's one thing to say, oh yeah, we support Kamala Harris. She's the first Indian American vice president. And there's another thing to be actively from supporting the next Kamala Harris, supporting people in 2 or 3 generations after Kamala Harris at that first race they're working on, or the second race they're working on at the local level, whether it's volunteering or donating or spreading the word. Those actions really make a difference in being able to have more representation in city government.
Completely agree with you. Thank you so much for your time, Janani. And folks, that was Janani Ramachandran, a name, it sounds so close to home at the same time, who is standing for City Council position at the Oakland District-4. Please do listen to this wonderful and encouraging interview, fantastic, beautifully laid out plan and beautifully laid out vision for her city and for the nation, I would say. And I would think that if you just listen to this, and you will get encouraged and also see what you can do for your country, how you can contribute to her elections and maybe to your own city's elections also. Thank you, Janani, and best wishes from our side. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.